What's up, guys? Rational Stacker here, and today we're going to take a rational look at a stacker's budget. The reason I'm doing this is I don't think that you guys are bad with money or anything like that. I have a buddy at work who subscribes to my channel, wants to start stacking, but doesn't know how. And admittedly, he says he's bad with money, and he doesn't know how to budget money. And he doesn't think he can do it, and he wants to know how I do it. And I told him I'd make a video and I'd show him how I do it. These are generic numbers, and they don't apply to everybody. You're gonna have to switch some of these numbers around, but the actual concept will apply to everybody. So this middle pie chart here represents 100% of your take-home income. We're going to make a couple assumptions on this take-home income. First assumption is that you don't have any debt. Sometimes you see these budget pie charts, and they have, like a 10 or 15% sliver for debt. I suggest, guys, that if you're going to stack silver, get rid of your debt first, because all you're going to end up doing is selling your silver off to pay off your debt, to get you out of trouble. And you're losing money, because silver actually does not gain value that quickly. It takes years for you to actually make money off of silver. So you don't want to be dipping into that at all. So get rid of your debt before you even start trying to stack. So assumption number one, you have no debt. And debt being like, credit card bills and loans and stuff like that, right? Not including mortgage, but just debt. And assumption number two is that any kind of retirement plan, RRSP here in Canada, or 401k in the States, has already come off of your check. At my work, like I said, I'm doing this for a buddy at work. At my work, we have a retirement option where I pay into RRSP and work matches me dollar for dollar. And that actually comes off of my paycheck, and I don't even have to worry about it. I don't see it. So we're assuming that that's already done. Now we're taking 100% of our income, and this is the way it works out. 40% for housing. Here in the Lower Mainland, housing is a little high. In the rest of the world, you're probably going to get away with 30 to 35%. You can crunch the numbers and figure it out for yourself, guys. Transportation, 15%. Savings, I have up at 20%, which is higher than most because, I want to fit silver in there. But also, I'll let you guys know after. And life at 25%. So life is everything that's not, required out of the rest of your money. So we'll go over this in a minute here. You can see there's sub-pie charts on each of these categories. So let's say housing. 40% of your income will go to housing. Fudge these numbers if you have to. Just make it all work. Each pie chart has to equal up to 100%. You guys know how pie charts work. Out of that 40% of your income for housing, 80% of that is going to be for your rent or mortgage. 5% of that is going to be for your property taxes and your house insurance. And remember, you take that monthly amount and you times that by 12, because your property taxes and house insurance are actually paid yearly, not monthly. So if you do that, you'll find that that's probably more than enough to pay for your house insurance and for your property taxes. And then 15% of that is for utilities. That's going to be your power, gas, cable, things like that. All right. Transportation is 15% of your take-home income. Out of that, again, here in the Lower Mainland, we get screwed over on things like insurance and gas. So these are a little on the high side, but 40% of your transportation budget is going to go to insurance, and 45% is going to go to gas. 15% is going to go to maintenance. And again, you would times this by 12 because you don't maintain your vehicle every month. It's more like a yearly budget. So you would times that by 12, and out of that comes oil changes. You do maybe 4 a year, and new tires every 5 years, new battery every 10 years or something like that. It's not that much. So 15% is actually quite a bit for vehicle maintenance. And then we'll go up to life here. Life is, whatever's not any of these categories. Out of this has to come your food. So 25% of your income goes to life. 50% of that is for food. That's for me, guys, and my buddy at work. He actually, we go to the gym together. We're both bodybuilders, power lifters. That is a lot of money for food, guys. It's actually more than I need, and I don't eat cheap food. I eat, good food. I don't eat fast food or anything like that. It's all actually pretty good food, and a lot of like raw foods and vegetables and meats and stuff that's expensive. Not really much packaged stuff. 10% for clothes, and that's again on the high side because if I crunch the numbers, that's like over $1,000 a year on clothes, and I don't spend that. So that's on the high side as well. And entertainment leaves you 40% of your 25% is for entertainment, which for me is like $400 a month or something like that. And that's quite a bit. I don't spend that much on entertainment. Entertainment would be things that you don't absolutely need, but things that you do for fun. So say like, if you drink, you're drinking money. If you smoke weed, there's your weed money. If you like to go to the movies a lot, there's your movie money, things like that, right? And then we have savings. So 20% of your total income should go to savings. And out of that, half of it, 50%, will be saved in cash in the bank. And 50% will be saved in silver. So we're going to assume a budget here, guys. And this is by no means anywhere near what I make. I actually make more than this, and so does the guy at work. And some of you probably make more than this too, or less. But we're going to assume a budget of $2,800 a year. Or sorry, $2,800 a month. So we'll say we'll go for our savings here. So 20%, if you don't know how to figure out percentage on a calculator, it's 0.20. That's the percentage. And then you times it by the number you're trying to find the percentage of. So we'll say $2,800, just as an estimate. That's $560 a month that you have for savings. Half of that is going to go to silver. $280 a month for silver. The other half is going to go into cash, into either a safe or your bank account. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to be keeping it there very long anyway. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so $280 a month in silver, bare minimum. Here in Canada, that's, that's 10 ounces a month or more. So, yeah, that's basically how the silver fits into my plan. And buddy at work, that's, these numbers don't lie. I've actually based this on my income, and it works out pretty damn good. So I know you make pretty much what I make, so it shouldn't be a problem. And so that's $280 a month for cash as well. So if you 280 times 12 in a year, you're going to be spending $3,360 on silver, but you'll also be banking $3,360 in cash, either in your safe or in a bank account. I recommend, guys, that you don't let this get over like, $2,000, maybe $3,000 at the most. And when it does, start converting it over to silver, because you're going to lose money just due to inflation. The dollar erodes over time. It's not worth as much. So, keep a surplus in your savings of cash that you can access at any given time, but don't let it go over like $2,000 or $3,000. And, once it does, start converting it over to silver. Everything else, we'll keep the assumption of a $2,800 income. So we'll do, say, housing, for example, 40%. We're talking $1,120 for housing in a month. 80% of that, say $1,120, 80% of that is going to be for your rent or mortgage. So you're talking $896 a month for your rent or mortgage, which is doable. I just bought a place, guys. My mortgage is less than that. So And I know you can find places to rent for less than that. And we are in like the most expensive place almost in the world. So, I mean, you can look it up, housing in Vancouver, BC in Canada, and you'll see just how expensive it is here. That is extremely doable. So, that's how it works out, guys. You can change all these numbers around, but just remember each one of these pie charts has to equal 100%. And as long as you can fit it all in there, it should work out. Make sure you overestimate everything rather than underestimate, and that way it's stress-free. And it's easy to say take money from your food because I've allotted so much and put it into your entertainment. Or you can take, some of your clothing budget because, I allotted a lot for my clothing and put it into your utilities. And, everything can be shifted over and moved over as long as you have enough room to play with. These are just estimated numbers, and it's just an idea of how it works, and that's how I do it, guys and buddy at work. If you have any questions, just ask in the comment section below or ask me at work, and we can go over it again. And these numbers are pretty much a guarantee. Like they're going to work for pretty much everybody. You might have to shift them around a couple percentages here and there, but the basic idea, the basic plan is going to work for everybody. Anyway, guys, that's the rational stackers look at stacking silver and the budget involved doing so. All right, guys, later.